A few years ago, I had occasion to deliver a keynote address to commemorate a room named in my father's honor. And during that talk, I decided to read a letter that he had written to me in graduate school to convey new insights and perspectives about him. I'd never done that before. And the talk was very well received. So afterwards, I decided to go back and to reread all of the letters that I had kept that he had sent me. And as I studied their contents, I realized that they contained remarkable insights into themes as relevant and as vital and as important today as when they were written 50 years ago. The times obviously have changed. But I ask myself, what lessons concerning leadership and parenting and communication and positive reinforcement and ethics and values did my father share with me that I could pass along to others? And that's why I decided to write the book. And today I'll summarize very briefly some of the important themes and the principles in these letters. Everyone in this room is a coach in some capacity, being responsible for the lives of others. And I believe that my father's philosophy will reinforce all the good things and all the right things that you're doing in both your professional and your personal lives. And it will give you confidence that you're moving in the right direction. Well, as I studied and reflected on the themes in the letters, I began to realize that there were four core principles that were really influenced by my father's growth and the development. And to get a distant perspective of him, it's interesting to note that he was a product of the Depression. He worked 3 jobs in college when he was at the University of Minnesota. And then during World War II, he served on the USS Enterprise aircraft carrier as a naval officer. So when he returned from the war, he was obviously a realist. He knew that we were here to overcome challenges and obstacles. And he also had an uncanny commitment of service to others. For example, in one letter he wrote, "The joy of living is in doing." This is one of the most misunderstood concepts of our time. Most people seem to think the purpose of life is as little work and early retirement as possible. Nothing could be further from the truth. Happiness is in doing, accepting, meeting, and conquering life's challenges, and wherever possible, doing for others, not for yourself. He addressed a similar theme when I had left home to go to college, and I was a very lonesome, homesick young man, and he wrote, "Whenever a person leaves a pleasant situation to enter the unknown, there is always the realization of how nice and good and comfortable things were before. Yet, only by facing the future and taking on progressively more difficult assignments are we able to grow. You will grow and develop in direct relationship to the way you meet and overcome what seem to be hard assignments." Well, as I mentioned, as I continued to reflect on the letters, I realized that there were 4 core principles that seemed to reappear and resurface more frequently than others. And those were the principles of values, and attitude, and preparation, and perseverance. For example, consider the following quote. In one letter he wrote, "The ability to push yourself to be the very best when you really don't feel much like it is perhaps the greatest value you receive from playing the game." Regarding attitude, he wrote, "In your association with any group, your attitude is the key. What can I contribute to the group? Not what can I take from it?" Regarding preparation, he wrote, "Don't set your sights low. Follow your fondest star, but make practical plans on how you will reach it." And he was also known for a quote that he used repeatedly with his players, and that was, "The will to prepare is more important than the will to win." The will to prepare is more important than the will to win. Why is that so? Well, on game day, everybody wants to win. Fans are in the stadium, flags are flying, cheerleaders are on the field, the band's playing, everybody's filled with great excitement and awe. Everybody wants to win. But only those people who prepare long in advance of an event taking place and then diligently continue to prepare will have that consistency of success. And then finally, the fourth core principle, perseverance. He wrote, "Making a determined all-out effort and still falling short can strengthen a young person beyond any single occurrence if he can learn to go forward again with even greater determination to get the best out of himself in the most trying of circumstances." Sometimes all four of the core principles would actually appear in the same letter. For example, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev actually placed missiles in Cuba, and John Kennedy was our president, I was in the middle of our football season, my junior year at Duke, and I was very frightened. I was very concerned about the possible outbreak of nuclear war. And my father wrote a letter which really crystallizes, I think, and condenses what can be learned from athletics for the future. He wrote, "Mom said you told her football didn't seem too important now. Actually, Jay, it never has been an end in itself. Although people distort the idea, the game is fundamentally education for the participants. As Admiral Byrd said, it isn't getting to the pole that counts, it's what you learn along the way." This is the best brief analysis of football. It isn't winning or losing that has lasting value or importance. The effort, the sacrifice, the determination you make for a cause, for your team, working with others for a common, most demanding goal is what matters. The loyalties, the joys, the disappointments, and above all, learning to give your total best, mentally, emotionally, and physically, are the qualities that will make a man, and there is no other place they are learned so well. You will learn as you grow older that your football experience will have given you an inner strength and discipline to meet the vicissitudes of life and fortune with your head high and your banners flying, because you will know what hard, demanding preparation truly is, and that life's challenges come not from outside events, but rather from within, as you strive to be the very best of which you're capable. Whenever you do this, you have literally won regardless of the score.